We got the land of crypts and helium.
Ooh.
Cool ass land, honestly. If I miss anything, yell at me in the comments.
And if he doesn't miss anything, yell at him in the comments anyway.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
just start screaming at me. What about your brother?
Right. About that gotta run, Tarkus, all that stuff.
Hey! The whole neighborhood is burning down. By which I mean literally every fucking building. Carving stuff is even harder than drawing stuff. And frankly, you're not sure even Skaya can deliver on this. Oh, chat. He's foolish. He knows nothing.
Dad, he is gormless.
What the fuck are you doing here?
What?
Tabrisplode! Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. 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 We ended in the middle of a conversation last time, so we're going to continue that conversation with a classic Bodhi talks to himself at the beginning. A classic move. Jake, complete Brobot.
That last slide was so long, too.
Womp womp. It's going to continue to be long.
Oh.
There, he's finished. Look at this spanking iron friend from the future. He is perfect. Oh, shoot. Dirk, he just got blurry and disappeared. What the actual fuck? Don't worry, that's normal. Upon activation, he goes into stalking mode. Stalking mode? Yes. He'll stalk you in the jungle and strike when your guard is down. What? That's crazy. Why would I want that? Didn't you want someone to get in scrums with? Well, yeah, but man, he will give you all the scrums you can handle. Trust me, this will sharpen your combat skills. I guess you're right. I was just picturing a little good, honest roughhousing. Why does the whole thing have to sound so sketchy and nerve-wracking? Do you want to hear my grim tales of the apocalypse or not? Oh, yes, you're right. Let's put aside issues of fisticuffs aside for now. Tell me everything about the future. So, how does humanity fuck up? Is it the nuclear holocaust? Or is it robots? Gotta be the robots, right? As per the Terminator. No, it's a more gradual decline in population than that, due to an insidious power grab by an aquatic alien empress. Oh, the old alien overlord story. Got it. When does she show up? She's already there. Whoa! Whoa!
Ah!
She's already here. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
It's Lady English.
What?
She's already there, in your time period, hiding in plain sight. She hasn't been for anywhere between 50 and 100 years. She's the Baroness of Crocker Corp, Jane's company. But of course, Jane has no idea. The Baroness has been using subtle strategies to manipulate the human population through her company for a long time. On November 11th, 2011, she finally made her presence known to the world, along with her agenda for global domination. Geez, that is pretty scary. So in a few years, she'll just be in charge of everything? No, not quite. That's just when the world finally sees her for the threat that she is. She would continue to gain power by exploiting various institutions and the media from within. It would take her the next several decades for her to claim the throne as Earth's absolute ruler. Her march to domination was facilitated by a number of scumbag sympathizers who opposed by a few brave rebels, including my ancestor. Roxy's too. I think your ancestor qualifies as one too. In fact, I'm sure she must have been the first member of the covert opposition movement. My grandma? I do remember when I was very young, she would tell me stories of the wicked woman who raised her. Was she the evil alien? Yep. That's a whole story right there, most of which is shrouded in rumor and urban legend. But before we get sidetracked by any of that, I'll try to cover the big picture to give you a sense of all the batshit lunacy that followed the Seags power play. Nobody at the time knew what the fuck she wanted to accomplish or what her actual motives were. But in retrospect, it became clear she was trying to essentially restore the conditions of her old homeworld, which she used to rule over as well. She began instituting these crazy laws. First of all, people weren't allowed to reproduce. She found our usual method of procreation revolting, and anyone who engaged in it was punished by death. But she still needed an ongoing population of subjects to abuse. So to propagate the race, she set up this weird system. At random intervals, every citizen would be required to supply their genetic material to drones. That DNA would be collected and combined in some way. Many years later, long after the original donors had died, clones would be spawned from their DNA. So no one would ever be able to know who their parents were, or be able to trace their lineage. It was only through a bit of good fortune that Roxy and I were able to discover who our ancestors were. They were the rebels you mentioned? Are they alive right now? I mean, in my time? Yes. Oh! I'm very curious about them, and also my grandma. I'll get to them, don't worry. Anyways, her imperious condescension turned out to be especially cruel to her human subjects. I'm sure her rule was no picnic on her homeworld, but I think she resented humans' biological incompatibility with the ideal empire she envisioned and became frustrated. Humanity wasn't even really her first choice for rule. There are reports she attempted to clone members of her own species and replace the human population with them, but they all died. What happened to them? The rumors say it was her own pet who killed them. See, she traveled from her world to Earth in this huge red space ark. In it, she had gathered thousands of creatures from her planet. I'm guessing to save them from extinction. This, more than anything, has led me to speculate that some cataclysm happened on her homeworld and she moved on to greener pastures to rebuild her empire. She bred all these creatures in secret, increasing their numbers, preparing for her eventual takeover. Each monster, or lusus naturae, was meant to be kind of a caretaker of the young. You can see where the dramatic schism between our species and hers begins, and also why she had a reputation for being quite insane. But she also happens to have this one humongous sea monster, Lucis, that is like her own personal bodyguard and kind of a secret weapon. But it turns out the thing is kind of an enigma. Sort of a double-edged eldritch horror, as much in her service as it is calling the shots in some unfathomable way. Every time she tried to resurrect her race, it would slaughter them all psychically, as if it was keeping her ambition in check. Or so the story goes. Wait, these beasts tend to the young? I can tell you from first-hand experience that monsters are totally rotten at taking care of kids. They do a bang-up job of making them scared, though. Exactly, the plan was beyond shitty. So does that mean you and Rox were raised by these things? Nope. It was a very short-lived experiment centuries ago. Humans just don't have the same evolutionary symbiosis with those things that her race had. It turns out a bunch of fucking alien monsters have no interest whatsoever in taking care of human babies. They mostly just wound up eating them, or at best just abandoning them. Later, she instated a lucidroid system to serve the same function, as she began phasing in more robotic solutions in favor of all this ill-conceived biotech nonsense that always did nothing but backfire. Ew, what the fuck? Even drones were replaced with robotic versions. I imagine they were just easier to produce and control since she'd given up hope of perfectly mirroring her own civilization in all its convoluted symbiotic glory. But not without a good fight. Not without taking her frustrations out on the human population. She attempted to enforce blood casting through efforts to genetically alter people's blood color. That was an ugly chapter. A lot of fucking people died from that debacle. Over the last 400 years, the population just got smaller and smaller from these atrocities piling up, but she clearly didn't give a shit. All the while, the amount of dry land kept shrinking due to the gradual flooding. Soon there was hardly anywhere left to live, and then that was that. No more people. Damn. Wait, flooding? Oh, yeah, I probably should have mentioned this up front. One of the first things she did while in power was begin melting the ice caps. It took a while, but eventually the whole world flooded. That's how it is now. It's totally soaked up in this bitch. Wow. Like the epic Kevin Costner film? Almost exactly. Especially by the same degree of shittiness. Oh, man, does that mean you have to drink your own pee? You get used to the taste. Welcome it even. That takes about 15 days in a row of hard piss drinking, though. Ew. No, dude. No. Ew. Relax. I don't drink any goddamn piss, okay? Oh, okay. Whew. I guess your Lucidroid thingy sees to it that you have fresh water? Nope, those stopped being a thing a long time ago, too, once humans went extinct. Oh. I thought... well, who raised you then? Nobody, man. I raised my damn self. Jesus, Christopher Kringlefucker here. I thought I was rugged. You're still pretty rugged. You're just a fucking dork about it. That's true. I guess I did have Cal looking after me. Let's not discount the rad services of the sea, man, okay? Heaven forbid. What about Roxy? Pretty sure the Carapacians took care of her when she was young. Wait, the Whatsits? Right, another thing I forgot to mention. There are a lot of these humanoid creatures with hard shells, some black, some white. As humanity was dwindling due to an increasingly whimsical and unstable Condes, She began introducing more of these carapacians onto the scene. Are they aliens too? Sort of. They're definitely from other planets, so yeah. Really the deal with where they came from is a whole other story for another time. But the bottom line is at some point, somehow she started herding a bunch of them from their homeworlds onto Earth and multiplying them. Something like 100 years ago, it became clear she favored these guys more than humans as her subject. They're very loyal and seem genuinely dedicated to serving her. Must be what they were bred for. She still treats them like shit, though, unsurprisingly. All these colonies started sprouting up like these modular cities floating on the water. It probably sounds cooler than it is, but they're basically slums. That's where they tend to live in large numbers. Roxy lives in one of these colonies. It's about 2,000 miles from where I am. Good gravy, those are exotic circumstances. And here I was thinking I had the most exciting and adventurous life. Turns out I'm just some chump on boring-ass Monster Island in this silly old pre-apocalypse. For what it's worth, I think it's got to be more interesting living in the 21st century than the 25th. Like, it's really no contest. Yeah, you're probably right. I'd be really keen on talking to Roxy about this, too. I'm very curious about her experiences as a future lady with all the what's-its. The hard-shell folk. I must say, it turns my previous perception of your lives right on its friggin' ear. Man, she would love to talk to you all about this. She hates keeping secrets. It's been killing her not to spill all these fucking beans way the hell prematurely. Like, what even is your day-to-day business in see Hitler's water apocalypse? Well, I mostly shit around in my apartment all day, building stuff, reading about history, and flipping out with my sword. Sometimes I go fishing and check out the underwater ruins. She does plenty of useless fucking around too, but at least she's got a neighborhood. She also uses one of her gadgets to gank vegetables and stuff from the past. She tries to feed the hungry neighbors whenever she can scrounge up. Oh.
Aw, what a goat.
Kind of adorable.
What of the goat, honestly?
What of the goat?
What of the goat? Also, I do want to draw attention to my favorite song title from the Homestuck soundtrack, which is Pumpkin Party in See Hitler's Water Apocalypse.
Awesome. Have we heard it yet?
No, I don't think it's in Flash. It's purely it's in the albums. And it's a banger. I'll play it for a couple seconds. It's pretty good. If you heard nothing there, I fucked up in editing. Continue.
Those are amazing stories. I'm so lucky to have friends like you. Oh, snap, what about Jane? Have you told her? Jane is... No, I haven't. I've been dropping some hints and tested her willingness to believe something like this. It's just not gonna fly. It's way too much to drop on somebody all at once if they aren't receptive. True, but it seems a shame to keep her out of the loop. Well, tell her whatever you want. She'll likely think she's being fucked with. Personally, I wouldn't bother trying too hard to convince her. There's no point in alienating her. Someday she'll be ready to believe things. Okay. Wow, I still have so many questions. It's incredible that this is all going to happen right around the corner. I don't know if I'm ready. Like I said, the changes will be a little more gradual than that, more clandestine. She'll exploit the fear caused by her revelation of the world to create intended reactions within governments and media. And her agents embedded on the inside will help nudge things in the direction she wants. Then, 20-some years down the road, without anyone suspecting a thing, she'll suddenly be in complete control and Earth will be fucked. I want to join the opposition! Fuck this witch! I have lots of guns and reckless bravado and I want to stop her! I'll pick up where my grandma left off! Well, aside from the main reasons that won't happen, which I won't get into, it still wouldn't be a good idea. Shit, why not? Because people way better at this than you tried and died. You said you wanted to hear about our ancestors. Heck yes, bro. Well, how much do you actually know about your grandma? What have you read and what do you remember? My memory of her is pretty foggy. I do know she loved adventure just like me. That's why she was exploring this island and raising me here when she did. She was a fair markswoman and knew her way around an atom or two. Pretty sure her company made a tidy fortune until it went belly up. At least I still have a few of her knickknacks for keepsakes. And as you confirmed, she was raised by that evil spinster. But then again, from some of the things my pen pal has said, it kind of throws some of these details into question, so I don't know what to think. I don't know what the deal is with your pen pal either, and I'm not really prepared to speculate on that right now. But I'm privy to a shitload of historical data I can share. What's the last thing you remember about her? It was the night I found her dead. She had gone off to study the ruins one day. I'm pretty sure that was her purpose on this island, to study the technology here and solve all the astonishing mysteries. She even built that big fancy house we used to live in, so I guess she really wanted to settle here for a while. But she didn't come home from her expedition for a couple days, so I started to get worried. Followed the trail we usually take to the lagoon while keeping my eyes peeled for monsters. But instead I found her lying there dead. I think a monster caught her off guard. There were 3 big fang marks in the body and a trail of blood along the path. It looked like she was trying to get home, but couldn't make it before succumbing to the injury. But before I could even do anything about it, I heard an explosion. I looked back at the hill and my house was gone. Just a big puff of smoke where it was standing. So I lived alone in the jungle ever since. Huh. I've wondered all about all that. Well, you never asked! Oh, I know, I would have. But asking about your past would have just been inviting you to do the same. You know how it goes. Indeed. But for the record, I don't think those were fang marks on the body, dude. No? Finish the story first, then what? Oh, there's not much more to it. I had to deal with Grandma's body. I would have loved to give her a proper and dignified memorial like Jane's granddad got. God, Jane is so lucky every day in her household. Must be like weekend at Bernie's. What a riot it must be. I'm so jealous. Yeah, what a fucking treat. A living room corpse party every goddamn day. I know, right? Alas, I had to dispose of the body with haste so the monsters wouldn't eat her. So I just made a little campfire and burned it. I keep the ashes deep in the ruins, which is where I think she liked it best. Hopefully there isn't an earthquake or something that would knock over the urn in a predictable and hilarious fashion. No way, man. I bet my bottom boonbuck that shit's eternally safe. That urn's like the Fort Knox of standing upright forever because of no accidents. Yeah. So then after camping out the next day, I went exploring and found my room globe mostly intact sitting in the jungle, so that's where I lived since. And that's pretty much it. I sure miss my grandma, though. She was the best. She was definitely very brave. If the stories are true, downright audacious, I'd say. What did you hear? What the fuck? Well, like I said, she was raised by the Baroness. It was probably a worse childhood than either of us had. She wasn't related, obviously. Ain't nobody's related to a damn fish alien. Except other fish aliens, probably. She had an adopted brother, too. Life must have been pretty miserable for both of them. Yes, I vaguely remember her mentioning him. Cripes, the things she told me now that I think about it. She said the witch even killed a dog. Is that true? I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt it. There are other urban legends that she did a lot of experiments on animals and people, mostly to do with mind control. Like figuring out ways to unlock all of her psychic alien potential, to increase her power. Not sure if that's true or if it was actually successful, though. So what you're saying is pretty much any unspeakably horrible thing she could have done, she probably did? Yes. Anyways, your grandma managed to run away when she was quite young. Maybe it was a traumatic event like dog murder that prompted her to flee, who knows? Whatever the case, her bro stayed behind. The guy must have been seriously immune to witnessing fucked up shit because he went on to be a famous comedian. A real kindly old cornball. A nicer guy you couldn't hope to meet, they say. Wow. Must have been a hell of a guy. So, you're not making any connections there? Well, huh? Famous comedian about the age of your grandma inheriting the family name of the Baroness, not ringing any bells. What are you talking about? Dirk, stop speaking in riddles and tell the story. I am on tenterhooks here. Well, okay. It's not like it's that important, just a super obvious thing that'll probably occur to you later when you're looking in the fridge you don't have, at which point you'll feel like an idiot. Oh my god! You can be one opaque motherfucker. Just clue me in, bro! Nah, it'll be funnier this way. Strider! Moving on. Sorry, my eyeballs.
Flashing lights warning. It's in the description now. I put it in there, so you can't be mad at me anymore.
That kid got the family name, but obviously your grandma didn't. She must have held a grudge against the Baroness who, her whole life, she started by taking a different name she knew would stick in her craw. Oh! I remember this! I believe she said the witch used to be married to a terrible man named English. So, because the witch really hated that guy, she took on his name as sort of a big ol' fuck you to the woman? That's probably close to the truth. But it sounds like the kind of story an old lady tells her young grandson in a way he would understand, or at least wouldn't scare the shit out of him. What I've read is something much more sinister, as usual. There's supposedly only one thing the Baroness fears, and your grandma learned of this somehow. It wasn't an ex-husband, though. It was her superior. Some kind of demon or another alien. No one really knows, but he went by the name English. He's supposedly even more brutal than she is, if you can believe that. So I'm named after a demon? What kind of demon is named English, anyway? What kind of alien is named Crocker? It's probably just a name he stole from someone else, like the Baroness did. I guess it's kind of cool to be named after a demon who's so scary even the witch is afraid of him. Yeah, well, your grandma thought so. Everything she did in life thereafter seemed to be an effort to piss off the Batter Witch. Like starting a competing tech company heavily branded in a way that was presumably intended to remind the Baroness of her boss. Like with skulls and garish colors and shit. The dude is some kind of skull monster, I guess. I love skulls! I know.
Hoppy Woodoo.
Oh. Sorry, I'm just reading the rest of the image.
Yeah, you gotta read the whole thing, I guess.
It was definitely brave on her part, but ultimately it got her a bankrupt company, a blown up house, and a fork through the torso for her trouble. But she must have been the first to understand how dangerous the Baroness was while acting in covert opposition. Others would follow, and continue to as of now in your time period. These are your ancestors? Yeah, mine and Roxy's were among them. Anyone I've heard of? Of course, all these fuckers are totally famous, obviously. Oh, sure, obviously. We've talked about the guy I'm genetically derived from a lot, actually. Like, every time I've ever talked about my bro. Gadzooks, of course! With all your future mindfuckery, you made me completely forget about your vaunted Hollywood sibling. I should have asked where he fit into the picture if you were raised alone. I can be dumb as a bag of penny candy sometimes. Sometimes. Other times you're on point like a bag of the nickel shit. Whoa, now those are the sweets kept in reserve for millionaires. Such flattery. Okay, but we're saying stop meaning anything, so I'll continue. Right. So then he was never actually your bro? No, that's just kind of how I view him. Lalonde took a more maternal view of her ancestor. The lady who wrote all the dreary wizard books, I presume? Yeah, the Codal series. You ever read it? What the fuck is happening here?
It's like the book. But also, that's interesting, the chains.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Those are some interesting symbols on the chains.
Some interesting symbols on the chains.
Interesting and familiar.
Interesting and familiar. It's familiar. No, I tried. It's too depressing. And also, kind of impossible to understand. I told Roxy I liked it, though I didn't want to hurt her feelings, so don't say I said that. I think I'll wait for the movies to come out. I bet I'll like those better. You don't say. I do say! Hey, you must have seen them. What with being in the future, are they any good? They are not. Phooey does that. Like I even believe you. The books are pretty interesting, though, if somewhat tense. They're supposedly heavily allegorical, veiled representations of cosmic events surrounding the witch and her boss and how all this came about. It's the kind of thing you wouldn't pick up on unless you were someone who understood what happened, like the Condess, which was kind of the point. I think it was her way of letting the witch know I'm onto you. In the early days of the resistance movement, they both opposed her more indirectly, through their art, like critics of tyrannical governments often used to. They had to be careful, didn't want to make big waves too early. My bro did this too with his many fine films. Practically everything was a symbol for something, either in mockery of the Batter Witch or conveying some hidden message to its audience. Each film was always rigorously picked apart for its head-scratching symbolic meaning. But he managed to accomplish all that without ever compromising the purity of his ironic vision, which I think was admirable. The Movovi.
The Movovi. Spodge.
Spodge. Fuck yes, the Spodge films rule! Screw the haters, that's what I say. You also say that about Weekend at Bernie's. Man, that is a scandalous mischaracterization. Nobody hates Weekend at Bernie's. The Wob films are generally regarded as so unremarkably mediocre that they don't even attract any trolls who care enough to shit on it. Believe me, I've tried to get into debates with people about it. Yeah, you pretty much touche'd the fuck out of that. We are definitely in agreement about my bro's films as the masterstrokes they were. He just kept cranking them out, though, too. He really stepped up production after 11/11/11. Even though the cat was finally out of the bag, he was very dedicated to his craft. I can hardly wait to see them! Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath about that. Why not? Man, fuck it, I'll just send you them. Just keep a lid on them. We don't need any weird causality shit rearing its head here. That would be dumb. I will guard each glistening compression artifact with my life as if a jewel pilfered from a tomb. Which was the last you saw? Well, there was Spaj the movie and Spaj the film. Oh yeah, and Spahaj the movie. I think Spaj the Moive is still in production, right? But honestly, I get confused about which particular misspelling is attributed to which film, or even if I'm getting the misspellings right. The key to sorting it all out is to understand it doesn't actually matter. Through video streaming services, you would frequently set it up so that buying a certain title would ship you the wrong film. And often, titles for movies were available for sale that just straight up didn't exist. Or would be sold for dollar amounts that made no sense, like $2.89.
I know you're trying to parse this, but it doesn't make sense.
Like $2.89 and 1 cent.
And sometimes buying a download would actually deposit money into your account instead of deducting from it. It was all part of the experience.
I'm now imagining a YouTuber who does like mystery Spaj unboxings.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys, super rare pull. We just got $1 million into our bank account.
Oh my goodness. It's like the fucking Magic the Gathering card channels.
Yeah. Oh my god, the value.
The value.
We got a rare Spahaj the movie.
Yeah.
This one's foil.
Your forebears are certainly entrepreneurial, if nothing else. I can get behind the idea of making a killing if it means I also get to be as good at doing adventures as I hope to be. Did they ever bring the battle to the witch's doorstep, or were the blows dealt strictly through public masquerades and theatrics? Yeah, they got pretty deep into the shit eventually. They were both very skilled combatants. I'm pretty sure she had some weird powers, too. Powers, you say? Communion with occult forces, something like that. She knew things. Had visions. It's why she was able to write those books. And more importantly, why Roxy and I were able to survive here. How? They knew we would be here someday, so they prepared for our arrival. I live in what used to be my bro's old apartment 400 years ago. The whole city's gone, but this one unit was somehow protected. He left me some supplies for me here. Like a lifetime supply of orange soda in the crawl space, along with a fuck ton of Spaj merch. It was like discovering my own personal holocaust of bulbous jutting bottoms. Plus some weapons, some other gear, and a killer pair of shades. Roxy's mom used to live in her place too, and left some stuff she might need lying around. This was way before there were carapacian colonies, though. I think her house must have been kind of a kernelized structure. Like a potential colony, something built to undergo modular self-replication if activated. I'm sure her mom knew that. It's been a good way for Rox to blend in. I still have like a sore thumb here, of course, but it hasn't really been a problem yet. So, they knew you would show up in the future someday and prepared for that. Doesn't that mean they also knew you weren't going to be able to stop the witch? Probably. But they went down fighting anyway. Wow. That's brave. And, I mean, kind of sad. Yeah, but wouldn't you? Of course! You always go down guns blazing. That's what a hero does when he loves adventure and has guns. If there's one thing movies have taught me, besides the fact that guys using a horse as a silly puppet is friggin' hilarious, it is that fact. It's not like their rebellion was totally futile. They took a lot of shitheads down with them. Who? Sympathizers. Ugh. Just the thought of such scoundrels turns my stomach. They should. In order for you to understand, I'll have to fill you in on the ridiculous final gasps of human civilization, taking place over the several decades leading up to its absolute enslavement. The decades which immediately followed the rebranding. Good fucking
Hello, Guy Fieri.
God. Hi, Guy Fieri. And also the background looks kind of like Guy Gas.
It's
That Guy Gas Fieri?
It's just skulls, but it is reminiscent. Same colors, definitely.
Yeah, like the weird mass. Anyways, as I mentioned, Crocker Corp's rebranding on 3/11, as it was often referred to in the news, totally changed everything. It marked the beginning of a completely shameless downward spiral of Western civilization. There were a series of events that were probably hard to notice at the time, but quite glaring when evaluated historically. Though the Baroness made very few substantive gestures of aggression, the global fear for her looming threat would trigger all the changes she needed. Governments prepared for war as if to defend against the invading alien armies she undoubtedly commanded. But of course, she had no army. She was always the only of her kind. Instead, the world powers were only setting about to build her armies for her. The media deteriorated into this preposterous circus that was in all practical ways inseparable from the power base and government institutions. Popular entertainers became dangerous demagogues, and their roles in the media blurred with those of executive authority. And the most dangerous were the ones who fed into the fear and hysteria most effectively. These tended to be plants, unscrupulous shills paid by the Baroness to move her agenda forward. Dang. I'd like to think I will not be suckered in by their silver tongues, whatever they come along. Well, the thing is, most of them are already on the scene in your time. Who? You ever hear of Guy Fieri? Sorry, one sec.
Yeah.
Just the Rafis.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. You're fortunate then. He was an especially degenerate piece of filth. He used his connections and guile to wriggle into the spotlight and then onto other positions of power. He somehow landed on the U.S. Supreme Court. Over the years, other justices started mysteriously disappearing without being replaced. After helping rewrite the Constitution to form an incomprehensible patchwork of fascism, theocratic mandates, recipes, and bad rap lyrics, he weaseled his way up the ranks to become the High Chaplain of Interstellar War. I'm just going to cut to the chase because really this ain't a big history lesson here. He eventually became to be regarded as the third and final Antichrist. No other human in history was responsible for more death and suffering. What the fuck?
Yeah. Also, hi, Insane Clown.
Hello,
Posse.
Insane Clown Posse. Fuck.
That boorish cur! Yes, that's exactly the phrase I would use to describe someone responsible for the extermination of 5 billion people. It was just so uncivilized of him. How could such an atrocity be allowed to happen? Was his personal magnetism really that overwhelming? Maybe overwhelming in the wrong direction. Yeah. But it didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual decline in the integrity of the system that allowed it. Eventually, the wheels came off and the political obscene mirrored the absurdity of the media circus. By the time Presidents Jay and Dope were elected, Western civilization had officially fucked itself over forever. And I think everyone knew it. Sorry,
I know.
read.
Look,
What the fuck?
just read the lines for a second.
Sorry, Homestuck, we got a little too real.
Yeah.
Oh, no, when does that happen? Fuck.
It hits different in the year
It does. I
2024.
can't read it. Oh my fucking god.
It does hit different under current circumstances.
Yeah, guys, we're recording this in 2024.
Yeah.
Depending on when this comes out,
This
I
will
don't know how
probably be
long it's gonna
releasing in 2025 at some point, but
Yep.
just for a timestamp on this, it is currently December 2024.
Yay!
And the current circumstances, they're
2024.
recent.
They are recent and they are branded in our minds.
2024, the last free election the world would ever see. So, like, they were on the ticket together as president and vice president? No, man, they were both president. They were the first dual presidents of the United States of America. And also the last. They were also the first and last Juggalo presidents. The founding fathers warned us about this, but nobody listened. They did? But about what exactly? The mirthful executives. George Washington had prophetic nightmares about them. He tried to warn people and get language amended to the Constitution to prevent it, like forbidding the election of what he famously described as a pair of salty bards, or unruly jesters given to the sweet drink. But everyone just thought he toked too hard on the colonial cannabis or whatever. I'm not sure I follow. These are like clown presidents or such? Yes, they were a shitty rap duo from your time, but they ran a hell of a campaign. By then, the Juggalo Party had gotten huge. While the numerous other candidates split the moderate vote, they retained a very large, energized, and devoted base. You could say their party had a big tent. Dirk, I really dislike the future you are describing. Hey, me too. They were swept into office on a wave of Fago, and the presidential inauguration was the biggest gathering of the Juggalos of all time. They all hosed each other down on the White House lawn with shitty soda. The D.C. and the Capitol thereafter officially stood for Dark Carnival. Of course, their campaign was helped considerably by having support from the Baroness. In retrospect, people developed the impression that it was all a part of her sick sense of humor. There was this sense that she just loved the idea of delegating the extreme subjugation of the world's population to a pair of demented clown rappers. Some have speculated this was just another way she was attempting to resurrect her previous model of governance, though this seems kind of far-fetched to me. Who the fuck ever heard of an alien juggalo? To me, all this is about as stupid as the crackpot theories get.
Drive.
I still don't really know what a juggalo is. Do they juggle? Don't worry about it. People were less prepared for a double juggalo presidency than they ever imagined. I'm not going to even get into all the horrifying details. Trust me, you just start to feel dirty reading it. From the moment Fieri held up the Bible to swear them in, and the three of them proceeded to publicly defecate on it while freestyling rap lyrics. That was it. Everyone in the world watching it on TV just said, well, show's over. Civilization was pretty cool while it lasted. The next several grueling terms of their presidency was a weird combination of authoritarian practices. The Baroness used it as a puppet regime, while still basically giving them carte blanche to carry out their idiotic whims. Fago was pumped through the plumbing system instead of tap water. The new national pastime was having type 2 diabetes. And the national anthem was replaced by a 3-minute high-reverb audio clip of President J farting into a microphone while laughing. Chaplain Fieri was authorized to set up the death camps, in which anyone on the planet could be imprisoned if they were not deemed sufficiently mirthful. And so the cleansing began, priming humanity for its new ruler waiting in the wings. This was when our ancestors had enough. The resistance movement had failed, but they could at least bring the war criminals to justice. My bro finally caught up with the presidents and challenged them to a duel. They accepted, having for years regarded him as a cocky rival rapper who failed to show them the proper respect. In their arrogance, they invited him into the foul belly of the carnival, believing they could teach him once and for all what it truly meant to be down with the clown. For centuries thereafter, survivors of the Holocaust would cite the rooftop showdown as the greatest moment. No, one of the most heroic moments in human history. Holy fucking
What a
shit,
goat.
he killed them both.
What a go.
Go, Dave! Go, Dave!
Yeah.
That's it, Strider. Let's fucking go.
Unfortunately, as they were only figureheads, no liberation followed. There would be no parades in the streets or statues cast or medals awarded. The few witnesses reported seeing only a man with a sword on a shitty skateboard, gently rising into the night sky. No one ever saw him again.
Strive.
Meanwhile, Roxy's mom was tracking down the High Chaplain. His crimes had already been committed. She couldn't repay them by any stretch of the imagination. But she could wipe the blood-stained grin off the fat bastard's face. She gouged his eyes out with a pair of needles.
God, they're so cracked.
Metal as fuck. And rode his torso to the bottom of the bloody falls.
This is also a parallel of when Rose fights the ogre in
Yeah.
it's fun.
Reports of what happened to our ancestors after that were sketchy. There were no eyewitnesses' accounts that I found, but some believe they regrouped and confronted the Condess herself. With all her high-ranking officers dead and the human population decimated and sufficiently groomed for her arrival, there was no reason to stay behind the scenes anymore. After these dreadful years of putting up with a more vulgar brand of authoritarianism, when she finally stepped forward to claim her throne, it actually came off as somewhat dignified, elegant in a way. She was no less severe, but at least she knew how to act like an empress. But even if they did manage to confront her, there was no way they could win. She had too many crazy alien powers. Her boss supposedly had jacked her power level through the roof. I even heard, and don't quote me on this, that she may have been over 9,000. Heavens to Betsy, that figure's just absurd. Yeah, and that's not even to speak of the generic smorgasbord of other powers she was rumored to have. It gets hard to separate the fact from urban myth. But just for reference, if you want to believe it all, just picture all the X-Men combined into one sexy fish woman in a skin-tight suit. Oh, mama. Okay, dude.
Okay, I mean, all right. And listen, I mean, all right. She's evil and is Hitler.
And listen. Christ. Ruinous.
Whatever actually went down there. Surely both dead now. Nope, that's Jake's voice.
Kind of combine them. It's fine.
Whatever actually went down, they're surely both dead now. I guess it had to happen like that, though. There's no way the Condess would actually allow us to be born within even a century of our genetic forebears. The thought of that was completely disgusting to her. But I really would have liked to be able to meet them. I guess some things would just be too awesome to ever stand a chance of happening. Yeah, I know the feeling. Wait. What? Dirk, didn't you tell me at some point that you did find evidence the witch killed them? As of now, no. Are you sure? I swear I remember you saying something about that. How could I have said anything like that before today? This was obviously the first time I mentioned any of this. Oh. I am just having the nuttiest deja vu thing going on right now. I feel weird. I guess I'm mistaken. Never mind. Okay. I will disregard your anomalous observation for now and continue conversing as if it never happened. Right, good plan. Anywho, that's a heck of a tragic and thrilling tale, Dirk. I am still totally cockeyed and catawampus about it all. I don't even know what to think. But you believe me, right? Oh, yeah, every word of it. Wow. Why shouldn't I? You're my friend and I trust you. I still just think it's impressive, is all. Even after all this time, you're pretty much a one-of-a-kind dude. Not really. I just like believing stuff and believing in people. Wait, what do you mean? About what? When you said after all this time, you just told me now. Yes. Hang on. The deja vu shit is happening again. Okay, I am sure we've had this conversation before. So many things are familiar. I remember you saying the one-of-a-kind dude thing, and I remember saying the word catawampus, and all of it. What's going on? Took you long enough to figure it out. Pages really are a slow-burning class. Damn. Figure what out? You're asleep. Oh. That's right. I fell off the platform thing, and I guess I got knocked out? Yep. So I'm dreaming. Kinda. It's a dream bubble. What's that? A place in the infinite abyss where sleeping people can share dreams with each other while revisiting memories. Also where they can meet dead people. So, we're sharing a dream together? And you're currently asleep too? Currently in the future? No. Even if I was, I wouldn't visit a dream bubble. That only happens when your dream self is dead like yours is. Mine is not. I guess I understand. So what's the deal then? Wait. You said this is where they meet dead people too. Shit, Dirk, are you dead? Are you a ghost? No, dude, chill, I'm fine. Then what the fuck is going on? Who am I talking to? Well, who are the people you talk to when you have a regular dream? What? Like just a boring normal dream. And there's a person you're talking to. Who is that? I don't know. It's nobody. Just a projection of your own mind. Dream bubbles don't always need to be shared by dreamers or dead people. You can go to sleep and wake up in one alone, reliving an old memory. Kind of like a normal dream. Until you remember it's just a memory, which is where we are now. Okay. So I'm having like a lucid dreamy thing in a magic bubble and you're just like a figment of my imagination? Yes, basically. So I'm talking to myself. That's kind of stupid. Well, yeah, but not quite. You can view me as a projection of the real Dirk within your mind, as expressed through all of your thought patterns about him. So I'm kind of a splinter of his corporeal self who happens to live in your awareness. I'm a startlingly close approximation to the real thing for all intents and purposes. Just how startlingly close are we talking? I'm not going to give you a bogus percentage like the glasses, because that's not my shtick. But pretty damn close. Okay, that's fair. But, man, there's something that feels kind of weird about this. You being in my head, it's a little messed up. What's messed up about it? You're the one who put me here with all your intimate understanding of his mannerisms and predilections. And a splintered existence is pretty much how he rolls. This is how shit is, bro. Nope, this is how
shit is, bro.
This is how shit is, bro. There's no punctuation is
That's
fucking
fair.
with me right now. This is how shit is, bro. Okay, I'm sorry for saying it's messed up, but it's still a little bit frustrating. I've been trying to talk to you all day, but all I get is your pesky responder bedeviling me at every turn, and your friggin' robot punching me across the ocean and then throwing a weird tantrum and ripping his nuclear heart out in front of me. And if that weren't enough, I tumbled off the doohickey and knocked myself down, and now I'm strolling down memory lane with your freight brain ghost. It's like you're surrounding me from all sides with imitations of yourself, but never the real you. Cheese and fucking crackers. When do I just get to talk to the actual Dirk? Jake, What do you even know about someone's actual self? What makes it actual? What is actuality? What a horse shitty question. I don't know anything about actuality, I guess, but I know some philosophabble horse shit when I dad blasted hear it. I'm just saying, this isn't really your field of expertise. Dirk's the heart guy. He's the one walking the path of self, even when he doesn't know it, like right now. But what does that mean? And how can you really be made of only my thoughts when I don't even know what you're talking about sometimes? Or when I didn't know some of the things you're telling me? Like about being in a dream bubble. How can I tell myself about that stuff through Brain Ghost Dirk? Who says you don't know those things on some level? I don't think I do. I have no business knowing those things. They just have a lot of untapped potential. That's practically all there is to the class, actually. But when they eventually find it, look out. And the ones who deal in hope, shit, man. I'm scared of you already, and I'm not even real. Are you sure you aren't real? No offense, but I kind of get the same smart-ass vibe from you as I do from the responder. Like, I have the same basic personality as Dirk, but without any accountability or anything. So let me just be kind of flippant and mess with this Jake fella's head. Know what I'm saying? Yes, that's a surprisingly decent observation about me. Yeah, see, I think I maybe did a little too good of a job brain cloning you. This is way too much like talking to the real fake Dirk. Holy cow, what a dumb sentence that was. You did a good job. A perfect job, in fact. Untapped potential, remember? I don't think one of Dirk's splinters could exist nearly as well in anyone's mind other than yours. Well, that's just spiffy for me, but I'm starting to feel like somewhat like I'm being haunted by you now. I just want to talk to my real buddy. And by real, I just mean the original guy. What do you even want to say to him? Oh, I don't know. You do realize he's coming for you.
You skipped a line.
Oh, whoops.
I know. Look, we're almost 50 minutes into the episode, and it's been only
And
you
it's
talking
been
to yourself.
just me.
I'm sorry.
Christ,
This
man.
is a long ass conversation about a lot of important stuff, and it just so happens.
Both me. Dude, if next episode starts off with me talking to myself, we're done the series.
I don't think it will. I
Thank
think.
fucking God.
Oh fuck! There
Oh my
is.
God.
There is. No, wait. No, it's fine. Wait.
No.
Yes, it might. Okay,
No.
it's fine. Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
God. Fuck. Oh, I don't know. It's not like you can keep any secrets from me here. I'm pretty much am your brain. Ah! No, don't say that. It's so weird. You do realize he's coming for you. Dirk, in the real world, the man has his designs. Yes, I know. Wanna talk about it with you? No, it's like talking to him about it, which is like really jumping the gun, I think. What better chance is there to try talking about it than with a stunt double for your hyperactive words?
It's okay.
What
You're
better
almost
chance?
done. You're almost done.
My lungs,
There's like
man.
2 pages. It's this one and like one more, and I don't even know if the next one has dialogue on it. It's
Okay,
you're getting there.
What better chance is there to try talking about it than with a stunt double for your hyper-aggressive suitor within the safety and privacy of your own mind? But I can't yet. I just can't. There's some feelings I'm not sure how to put into words yet, and I'm doing it in front of you, whether you're a stunt double or brain puppet or whatever. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. So there are feelings you don't even want to try putting into words? Even while you're dwelling entirely within the realm of your own mind? Yes. What is so hard to understand about that? What about the spider ghost? Huh? The girl you saw. You got fucking clobbered by Dirk's robot and you passed out. You dreamed about a spider ghost alien girl. Oh, yeah, what about her? You like her. Man, what? That's dumb. I saw her for 3 seconds and she waved at me and I woke up. Yeah, and it took all of 3 seconds for you to fall in love with this cute spider ghost girl. Why do you keep calling her a ghost? Because she's been dead for a zillion years, dude. Oh. Well. Holy shit. That won't change the fact that you like her. Let's not pretend it will. You're going to make things complicated for yourself. No, I won't. Yeah, you will. You're too fucking wishy-washy. Between Dirk, Spider-Ghost, Jane. Man, poor Jane. What? What about Jane? You tell me. What was even the deal with that? Our last chat ended on very pleasant and amicable terms. She was upbeat and chipper as ever. I fail to see what reason one might have to feel sorry for her. Yeah, you totally read her like a book. Really handled that conversation like a champ. Wait, didn't I? Look out, bitches. It's Jake Casanova Lady Slayer English. He's packing heat and is frequently able to parse the literal meaning of things women say. What are you getting at? We're running out of time. She'll be here soon. Jane? No, doofus. Spider Ghost. Whoa. Whoa, okay, where? Wait, she is? Oh, fuck. Look at you, I'm telling you. 3 damn seconds of ogling an alien in a blue dress and you're completely helpless. Stop fidgeting around like that. Your hair looks fine. Do you want me to tell you how your breath smells? Screw you! I am cool as such a cucumber. Okay, then. Why, does my breath not smell okay? You're dreaming, Jake. Your breath is only a thing if your brain wants it to be. Okay. Whew. When is she coming? Why is she visiting my dreams? Soon. She's been waiting for the right time to enter, waiting for you to snap out of the memory. Clearly the girl has the patience of a saint. All right. Dang, it's warm in this dream bubble. How can I be sweating in a dream? Where do I keep the dream towels? Ugh. Will you calm the fuck down? I'm a figment of your imagination and you're still making me nervous. But really, who is she? What's her deal? And what does she want from me? Since all this so-called untapped potential in my subconscious taking the form of yet another sassy dirt clone seems to know everything, would it be okay if I troubled my own brain for a few flippin' answers? You should try to be more polite with me, seeing as I am a representation of your entire mind. I have complete control over all your basic functions. I could trigger a particularly spirited bowel movement right before she gets here, so watch your step. No, I'm sorry, don't. Just kidding, dude, Jesus. I would never make you shit your pants in front of a girl you liked, even if she does happen to be my chief competition. We Dirk Splinters can be pretty Machiavellian, but we do actually have some fucking standards. Okay. Thank you for promising to keep my trousers tidy. Anyway, she's visiting you now to bring you into the loop on some things. Important details you should know about your relation to the bigger picture. The much, much bigger picture. I still don't understand how you know, or excuse me, my brain knows this stuff because I'm a page? How does that make sense? And also, if you know these things, she will say, why don't you just tell me the things? Intuition and the subconscious mind are powerful things when harnessed the right way. As for why I don't tell you, why not just let her tell you? You're the one with the damn crush on her. Oh, dude, she's here, shush! I know. Oh, man. What the fuck are you looking at me for? Say something to her, jackass. Okay, I will. You distracted me, though. Can you scoot over a bit? Oh, my God, fine. Hi there. Welcome. Don't mind me. He's just a prank on my best friend. I know that sounds crazy. Bro, she can't even see or hear me. You're making a fool of yourself. Wait, you can't? Why didn't you tell me that? You're really throwing me off here. I don't know. I guess I didn't think you were going to have a neurotic meltdown at the sight of a girl. I thought you were supposed to know stuff like that, seeing as you are literally my brain. God damn it, will you just chillax and woo this fucking ghost babe? Nope, that's Dirk that said that. God damn it, will you just chillax and woo this fucking ghost babe? Chillax when you keep talking to me. It's really disconcerting. You are totally embarrassing yourself, dude. You're talking to nobody. Man, I'm starting to feel bad for her, Spider Ghost. Look at her, she's getting uncomfortable. Just shut up, I can't think! You're being so lame. I don't care if I'm a figment of your imagination or not. I can't take this bullshit. I think you get your shit together and put the moves on this dead space vixen or start fucking with your cortex and make you pop a dream boner. Oh, God, no, don't you dare! You don't think I'll do it? No, please do not give me a boner, Dirk. Sorry, Jake. The plan's in motion. Next stop, Boner City. So that was the plan all along? To give me a boner? And you got one. You motherfucker! Oh, tee-hee, a false alarm. I see you, very funny, cool guy. I think you're full of shit. You're bluffing, you don't even have the power to give me a phantasmal erection. Jake, please. Members of the Juggalo party aren't the only ones who can pitch a big tent. Then go ahead, make my fucking day. I'm ready for you. You think I'm afraid? I'll take your boner magic like a man. I'm not ashamed. I will stand tall and proud at full mast in front of this pretty alien. Do your worst, you bastard. This is so stupid. You're out of your mind. This is coming from your mind itself. I can't even watch this. I'm out of here. Well, good riddance to ironic hipster douchebag rubbish is what I have to say about that. I wonder what Jack's up to right now. What? I mean, what? Who's Jack? Just talk to the girl, okay? You have some damage control to do.
That was the plan. To give you a boner. It's Evil Cage.
To give you a boner.
It's
I
Evil
forgot
Cage.
about Evil Cage. God damn it.
That was the
That
plan.
was the plan all along.
Give
You a boner.
You got one. Anyway, Jack, start jailbreak adventure.
Oh boy.
You wake up locked in a deserted jail cell, completely alone. There is nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise. Attempt to pry open window. There are no objects around with which to pry open window. Look at that. This frame is precisely identical to the previous frame. You advanced nothing whatsoever with that dumb idea. Do you realize this adventure is nearing 5,000 panels? And now we have to watch you flounder around in a jail cell for who knows how long? Exactly how many panels do you want this to go on for? Over 9,000? Nobody wants that. Nobody even wants to hear the phrase over 9,000. You need to begin making better decisions if you want to escape. Get key. What did you not understand about the statement, there is nothing at all in your cell, useful or otherwise? There is no key. It is an extremely crude drawing of a key on the floor. Really, the drawing is so bad, it's ridiculous to think that some prankster thought it would fool you, which it did. Whoever drew this key clearly was employing the most primitive drawing tools available. You are obviously being fucked with in this stupid jail cell. You expect that you will continue to be fucked with, and it makes you wish you could stab something. Get pumpkin. What fucking pumpkin? There is no pumpkin. Once again, there is nothing at all in your cell, useful or oh god damn it. Okay, a pumpkin appears. You guess it must be feeding time for the prisoners. These Prospition jails are like luxury suites compared to the penal system on Durst. Should be the softest time you ever did. Consume pumpkin. What a horrible idea. You don't eat fresh produce. The thought is revolting to you. What do you think these sharp teeth are for? Or what's left of them, at least. You'll have to make a note to file a protest with your lawyer. Complain of cruel and unusual treatment. Their coddling criminal justice system will undoubtedly see to it you are given some proper meat to consume. Perhaps a prime cut of filet mignon, if you are a guest of honor. What a bunch of powder puffs with all their namby-pamby morals and compassion. This kingdom makes you sick. Look out window. You step up to the little Kirby thing to get a better look outside. Can't make a plan without getting your bearings. A lone sentry is on duty below. You shout a few obscenities his way. You wonder aloud what a guy has to do to get a decent meal around here. Hey, you're talking to that guy. It's no use, though. He ignores you. Just look at that stoic face. The unshakable discipline. The stalwart sense of duty and pride. This is what it means to be a member of the Prospition Royal Guard. What a load of shit, you grumble to yourself, but loud enough for him to hear. Inspect pumpkin. That guy won't be of any use. You doubt you could even manage to lure him into your pissing radius, magnificent though it is. You give the pitiful gourd a little kick. A terrible thought occurs to you. What if you have no choice but to eat this awful thing? You can't let it come to that. You have to get out of here. Hold on, what's that? Take a closer look. Please look inside. Eureka! Droll, you beautiful bastard. Looks like he snuck something inside the pumpkin to help you escape. Probably a bomb. You are going to have to remember to give him a promotion when you get out of here, or at least reduce his daily newspaper floggings. You need to think of a way to get the bomb out of there. Can't just smash it with your foot, or it might explode and take your leg off. Too bad they confiscated your knives, or you could slice the thing open neatly. Maybe even carve a funny face into it. You bet you're the first guy who ever thought of doing that. Search for carving apparatus. Hang on, you remember seeing some pointy things just outside the window. Luckily, both kingdoms are totally covered in pointy things. Can't swing a dead cat without impaling it on one. Take pointy thing. You snap off a golden pointy thing. Should be sharp enough to do the trick. Carve pumpkin. It slices through the meat of the vegetable like a sharp spire through thick squash. This is working so well. Who needs a trusty knife when you're this resourceful? Screw knives! You take it back. You can't stay mad at knives. Open it. You can taste your liberation already. You can't wait to hear the sweet ticking of the bomb that is definitely in there. That will be the sound of freedom, you decide. You pull off the lid to reveal a whole bunch of knives. That's a lot of knives in one pumpkin. Is this what they're worried about on Halloween? when they say, like, the razor blades are going to be in the candy or whatever. I guess this is probably analogous to that. God damn it, Droll. You're welcome. He's got a little winky face. What a goat.
Beautiful.
So dumb. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, although, now that you think about it, he might be by default, since he just sent you all the sharpest tools in the shed. Oh well, you can probably get some use out of these. You've never once been disappointed to receive a pumpkin full of knives, and you're not about to make an exception. Empty pumpkin on floor. You take a quick inventory of the smuggled contraband. Hold up. Looks like he snuck something else in the pumpkin under all the knives. Something compromising. Examine compromising material. Terrier fancy.
Oh, God.
The Droll knows what it's like to spend long, cold nights alone in the clink. A man needs a little reading material to keep him company, if you know what he means. If your skin wasn't made out of polished jet-black carapace, your cheeks would be turning bright red. No one can ever know about this. You must destroy the evidence, or disguise it somehow. Forge blade out of illicit literature. Good sword. None shall be the wiser. It is the perfect crime. When you bust out of prison, you should be locked right back up again because of how perfect this crime is. Throw a knife down there to get that guy's attention. That should get the guy's attention. That's a knife in the back.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, it only keeps his attention until he dies, which is almost instantly. You need to come up with a better plan. While you would argue that random stabbings are their own reward, they aren't getting you any closer to escape. Examine exit. The door is locked tight. You're going to need a key to open it, preferably one that isn't horribly drawn on the floor to taunt you. Knock on door. Maybe if you knock hard enough in just the right way, at just the right time. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait, no, not yet. Wait for it. Wait. Now! Your clumsy fist accidentally flies through the bars, knocking out a passerby. Keys from his keyring jangle on the floor. It's quite possible one of those keys will unlock your door, but they're all well out of reach now. What next, genius? Use knife to snag one of the keys on the floor. You see if a knife can adequately lengthen your reach, but it's no use. They're still just outside of your modest slashing radius. No dice. Need a different approach. Wait a minute. Another guard notices your unauthorized tomfoolery and radios for backup. Back another guard over. He looks none too pleased by your misbehavior. This will surely result in reduced rations. You can expect to find a slightly smaller pumpkin in your cell come sky arise, mister. You keep beckoning him. Just a little closer. A little closer. Convince second guard to pick up keys for you. You use a little persuasion to see if you can get him to... Jack, no! That is not how you convince someone to do something. You're supposed to save the stabbing until after you intimidate him into doing what you want. How exactly is a dead guy supposed to pick up some keys for you? Real smooth, Jack. What's the plan now? To bury the keys under a growing pile of torsos? This is turning out to be the second shittiest jailbreak attempt anyone has ever seen. For context, the first MS Paint adventure was called Jailbreak, and it was like this a little bit. It's a reference.
I see.
This was before Problem Sleuth, even.
Beautiful.
Look around room. The only remaining thing in the room is worth noting in the other corner of your cell. Just a transport pad prisoners are supposed to use as a waste receptacle. These were decommissioned in Durst prisons a long time ago. Too many prisoner suicides and severed heads showing up in the waste bins. None of those auto-decapitations were authorized with the right paperwork, so privileges had to be suspended. You hear the door open and slam shut. Someone else is in your cell. Welcome guest. Looks like the sentry phoned downstairs for a little muscle. It's one of the regulator lugs they use to keep the gen pop in line. This guy has an itchy baton wrist and that look in his eye you know all too well. He's not leaving this room until one of you is good and bloody. Be the other guy. That's not a good guy to be. You attempt to be this guy down here, but you can't be this guy down here because he's dead. But it does serve as a convenient cutaway for the vicious beating that is currently taking place in your cell. We don't need to be watching that kind of prison brutality. We can take our sweet time looking at this dead body while terrible noises can be heard from your prison window. Okay, that should be long enough. You can stop being this guy now. Stop being that guy. Bang, 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 bang. You stop being the other guy in time for us to see that you have just finished quickly and cleanly subduing the... Jack, the man is dead. Stop that. Jack?
Good fucking
Jack. Apologize to guard's body. You start to feel sorry for stabbing that guy with 7 knives in the back and bashing his face into the door 89 times. Well, maybe not all 89 times. For the first 88, you felt pretty good. But by the 89th face bashing, you were definitely starting to feel pretty sorry. And by sorry, you guess you mean bored. Anyway, you mutter something under your breath that could easily sound like an apology to someone who wasn't listening very well. Give Guy a proper funeral. Whatever the state of your contrition might be, there can be no question about it. A man dedicated to royal service deserves a proper and dignified funeral. However, since there is no casket in your cell that is nearly big enough for this lug's hefty torso, you will have to improvise. Seek alternative casket. You sever the guard's head and with your most trusted of all trusty knives and begin sizing up that hollowed pumpkin. It'll definitely be snug, but you think you can make it fit. Make it fit. You don't care what anyone says. You say this pumpkin was made for this fucker's melon. Fits like a damn glove. Close it up. Perfect. A textbook burial for a man of honor and distinction. The sacrifices made by our public servants don't get anywhere near the respect they deserve, you think. Bring casket over to receptacle. His funeral will not be complete without a proper send-off. But a stinking garbage dump is no place for the head of a brave soldier to rest. No, you must first make some modifications to the device. Doing hard time behind bars will motivate a man to learn a trick or two when it comes to systems like this. Pry open panel with knife. You open it up and switch a few wires around. There, now instead of a nasty old pile of rotting pumpkin matter, the destination should be the throne room of the Prospition Palace. Surely the Queen will want to be alerted to the noble sacrifice of this brave warrior, so that arrangements can be made to honor the hero. Send him off. Pew! Look inside. You hear the door open once again, followed by the sound of surly footsteps. Could it be that another glutton for a good face-bashing has decided to visit your cell? Greet visitor. Ah, you see. It appears that there are quite a few said gluttons this time. Settle down, gentlemen. There are more than enough face-bashings to go around. Quick, be the other guy again. You be the other guy again while they beat you senseless. And we'll come back next time for the other guy to be Jake.
I was gonna say, so fun fact, my recording stopped when we hit an hour.
Oh, interesting.
Audacity only lets you record for exactly an hour.
Well, it's a good thing that I have your audio anyway.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, if the audio quality kind of drops off in the back end there,
you know
womp,
why.
womp, you understand. You'll understand.
In fairness, I wasn't saying anything for the last, 20 minutes.
That's true. It's probably fine.
I got a break.
Yep. Anyway, goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next week when we be Jake again. And Bodhi gets to talk to himself in the start of an episode. Woo!